All right, so I've got it figured out what I want to do moving forward from this. Because if you haven't seen my last two videos, I've mentioned that I want to end the squat everyday streak. My reasoning behind that I've explained in the last two videos, so if you want to know why, just go watch those. Because I'm not going to get back into all that when I already have two videos up over that. I got a comment on yesterday's video that mentioned, tell me take 7 days off and start fresh and something. And at the end of the comment, he said something along the lines of, like it was kind of dumb or something for me to continue to squat every day when I know that it's not good for me. Listen, brother, how many times do we eat junk food or eat ice cream? That's not good for us, and that's not going to help you do anything. How often do we go out to eat and order a Dr. Pepper to drink instead of the water? How many times do we come home and, sit down on our phones? Instead of getting up and going for a walk. There's a lot worse things than what I'm doing right now. And I'm going to get into the reason of why I'm going to continue the squat everyday thing. So I'm on day 5, coming up on 550. And I'm going to hold out until day probably about 605. The reasoning for that is, I want to be able to say I squatted for 600 days in a row. Later on down in my life, I want to be able to look back and say, yeah, there's a time where I squatted every day. Well, how many days did you, how long did you do that? Just over, 600 days. I like the sound of that. And also that will, carry me through college. So I can say that on top of working a full-time job and going to college, I managed to squat every day on top of that. Because I've only got another month left of college before I graduate. And so, if I know a few years later on down the road or something, I can see myself looking back and being like, I squatted almost every day, or I squatted every day almost all the way through college, but I couldn't make it one more month. I don't think I'm going to be happy with myself if I, quit right now. So really, I'm just holding on right now, just for the sake of, me being able to say that I've done it. I don't know. It's just one of those things where I try to hold myself to a very high standard. And I know that if, I don't reach that standard, it's going to come back and bite me. And unfortunately, there won't really be too much I can do about it then. With that being said, I'm not going to push squats, 3 days a week like I have been. Yesterday was supposed to be a heavy day for me, and I did not do any heavy training, and I'm feeling better today. So my plan for this, the channel is probably going to fade off here pretty drastically. I'm going to, so I've explained my plans after I end the squat everyday thing. After I end this, I'm going to come home. I'll probably end up squatting heavy once or twice a week. And then I want to look more into running and pushing different areas of life, shooting my bow and journaling and reading my Bible more. These are all things that I want to do more of, but I can't because the time demand on squatting and the YouTube videos and everything is too much. And I don't, the only thing I have to take away from to get more of anything else in life is this. I mentioned yesterday, this is kind of, me having to close this chapter and move on to the next chapter of life. Because I'm ready to push. It's time for me to, push in other areas of life. I mentioned, I used to journal all the time, like at least once a week. And I haven't journaled for nearly a month now. And a large part of that is due because I don't have the time for it. So, I want to pick up all these different things. I feel like I've gotten out of this what I want to. And so that's my plan, is to step away from the squats, let the body recover a lot more. I'm just gonna, say I squat on Monday. I'm not gonna worry about squatting heavy again until I feel ready and capable for it. I'll probably start, I don't know that I'll train 7 days a week, but I may start training like 4 or 5. If I come home and, want to spend the entire afternoon shooting my bow, that's what I'm gonna do. And then I may decide to do some stretching after that. But I'm missing out on a lot of other things right now because of the commitment to this. So that's the plan for after I end this squat every day thing. And basically I've decided to, give that a test run now. So I'm only gonna push the squats whenever I'm feeling, good and recovered enough to do so. And the rest of the days I'll come in here and take 135 for a set of 10 or whatever. Just to check the box that I've, squatted that day. But I'm gonna try to start dedicating more time and energy into other things. So for the last 50, 60 days of this journey, expect a lot of short videos of me just taking 135 for 10, because I see a lot of that coming in the next 50 to 60 days, because I'm going to take a step back from the squats, and like I said, just push them whenever I feel ready and capable. And then the other days, I'm going to run, I'm going to do the other things that I want to do. I went out to eat with a buddy tonight, and I was talking to him, and we mentioned wanting to go fishing more this year, because I took my kayak out. I don't think I took my kayak out all of last summer. Didn't fish out of it one time. And it's because if I decide to work a half day Saturday or something, instead of, getting home from work and then loading the kayak up and going fishing, it's like, well, I want to come home and put in the squat session and get that out of the way, so then I can go to bed earlier and then, still wake up tomorrow not fully recovered. So just a big recovery thing, time management thing, and I'm ready to, just pursue other things. And I mentioned, I think if I take away the squatting so much, I'll have more energy to do more time and energy for other areas of training. I mentioned if I come in here to do pull-ups, I can either do 100 pull-ups, or I can come in here and squat the bar for 100 reps and then 135 for a set of 10 and only do 30 pull-ups, because I only have a certain time window that I can be out here. So I'll be able to put in more like serious upper body sessions and whatnot. I'm kind of thinking about going back towards more of a calisthenics grind, just coming out here and going ham on the pull-ups, doing push-ups all the time and running, and then squatting. I think that's how my training is going to look. Push-ups, pull-ups, running, squats, potentially some deadlifts here and there, and then probably some overhead press and shoulder stability work or whatever. But that's what I see training turning into, is just straight up push-ups, pull-ups, running, and then squatting once or twice a week. That's the plan moving forward. And like I said, after I end this squat everyday journey, the YouTube channel will probably be virtually non-existent. I may post, once a week or whatever. It'll be more so a thing of when I have the time to make a video, because, for the last 500 days now, I've, pretty well every workout that I've done, I've had a camera set up and filmed it. So, I'm kind of missing that aspect of, just coming out here to train and not worrying about setting up a camera and videoing everything. It's good sometimes to, leave the phone inside or whatever, or, just set it on the bench and just come out here and train and, not worry about having to post it and, just go through with all this. Sometimes it's good to kind of disconnect from everything and just sit down and have you a good training session. And I don't know if any of you guys like film your workouts and post them to social media and stuff, but there is a noticeable difference in the training sessions that you feel like you have to film and the training sessions that you just come in and go crazy and you do your thing. It gives you a sense that you're like kind of grinding in the shadows. Nobody's gonna see the work that you're putting in. Big whole spill. I probably went into it multiple times on this channel. But yeah, that's the plan. I'll just post the video whenever I feel like doing so. I might try to post my bigger workouts. The squats are seeing progress or whatever. I'll probably post the progress there. But I really just want to get back to training hard. The squats are just taking too many recovery points and time for me to do anything else. So I want to start training hard again. And not always, have to show it to the world. And the constant interaction with YouTube comments and everything, like, don't get me wrong, I enjoy it. Had a lot of good conversations with you guys. But I wake up in the morning, I have to, check the comments while I'm eating breakfast, and then, on the lunch break at work and on the drive out to the job sites, I gotta try to reply to these comments. I don't know, this thing demands a lot of time from me, and I'm ready to, get some of my time back, I guess you could say. Anyways, I'm gonna take this for a set of 10 and, go back inside. Ooh. Feeling all right today. Not as sore, not as tired as I have been, so that's good. I worked today without being in constant physical discomfort. Today without being in constant physical discomfort. It makes it a little more enjoyable. All right, take this for a set of 10. I'll probably go in and do some push-ups. Either gonna do push-ups, stretch, or read. I don't know which one yet. One of those three, maybe a combination of those three, who knows? 2, 3, 4. All right, there you go. There's the plans moving forward. I'm gonna shoot for about day 605 if I can. Carry me through college, hit that 600 day mark. Excuse me. I'm just gonna push the squats now. Whenever I feel capable of doing so. I'm gonna start putting more time towards, trying to run more, or shoot my bow, or read my Bible, do these other things more. And then, about day probably 605, once I hit about day 605, I'll probably be done with it. So I got, I think like another 50 to 60 days to go through with this. I'm excited to, move on to something else. If I wasn't so close to the end of the college and, close to the 600 day mark, I'd probably quit today. I don't know. It's not like the discipline isn't there. It's just that the discipline and commitment to this is taking away from what I could be gaining in other areas. And, I've been doing this for a year and a half now, probably getting about a year and a half. And, it's time to start pursuing other things now. So there we go. The squat every day is going to be on the back burner for about 60 days, and then after that, I'm on to other things. So appreciate you guys. I'll catch you tomorrow.